May 12th Ozark City Council to order at this time. Before we get started, I just want to thank Angela Harris for covering last month. I had just had surgery, and I do appreciate what she did, and for the council members that called and checked, guys, I appreciate that. And I want to thank the department heads and the city employees. Had one of them tell me, though, that they was glad I made it back to work because I was sending more texts and emails from home. So they were glad when I got back in the office. But I do appreciate the prayers and the calls. So I have asked our city attorney to lead us in prayer. And we have the privilege tonight of PAC 74. And they've got 3 gentlemen with them tonight. We did a flag burning ceremony back, it's been about a month ago, at a gentleman's house. Because of the burn ban, they couldn't actually burn the flag, but there was 10 or 12 of them. So they've got a good crew. There's ball games and other things going on, but they'll be here tonight to lead us in our pledge. But if you will stand for the prayer, please.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity we have to gather here and conduct the business of the city of Ozark. We pray, Lord, that you'll watch over us and guide those that are making decisions tonight to govern in a way that's significant for the citizens and in accordance with your will. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Gentlemen, if you will make your way to the front, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate that. Thank you. And to their leaders, guys, thank you all for bringing them out tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Okay, Ms. Susan, if you will roll call for us, please.
Meyer.
Yes.
Minor.
Here.
Harris.
Yes.
Melton.
Here.
Maker.
Here.
Hyler.
Here.
All right, first you have a copy of the minutes from last month. Do we have any additions, corrections, any questions? If not, I need a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve. I'll second it.
Hyler.
Yes.
Maker.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Minor.
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Then you have your financials for both the water and the city.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Maker.
Yes.
Hyler.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Minor.
Yes.
I do want to report we had gone 2 months without a commissioner for the planning commission, and as of last Thursday afternoon, Ms. Kelly Drummond has agreed to take that position. Nick, Reagan, and Kelly and myself will meet Wednesday night to kind of give her the lowdown on what's expected and what she gets to do. And I do want to thank Crystal for reaching out to Kelly and asking her, and then I think they encouraged her, and she's excited. So we will be back on schedule. They will have a meeting June the 5th. We did not have one in May because of not having a commissioner. So let's be supportive. If you see Kelly, tell her thank you, because that's definitely a thankless job. I do believe we had 2 meetings. One was the street and water, and one was fire and police. So, Mr. Melton, if you would give your street and water, please.
Well, the street and water was in April, and it was right after the meeting. We did meet. There are several things that we're going to have to get on pretty quick. Our next water and street meeting will be coming up in June. And we had a meeting at the water treatment plant, it's been a couple weeks ago now, with our engineer from Hawkins Weir, Mr. Brett Peters. There's some things that we're gonna have to get on, and I've asked him to come to our next meeting and kind of to our next committee meeting and kind of explain to some of us what's going on before we go to the full council. We have got a problem with especially the line that feeds the Butterball East tank. We had a blowout on it again this weekend. Luckily, we got it back together. They weren't any production loss because of that. But there's some other things that's gonna need to be looked at. So you can expect more out of this next meeting after we have it for the next, will be the next council meeting, probably the one in July. So that's all I've got for now.
Nothing on the street.
We didn't really have anything on the street.
Uh-huh.
There was some talk of some paving that we might take care of, but we really wasn't anything set in stone on that, so that's all I've got.
I do want to commend Roy. This was his first big, when he called me, he said, we got a big break. And, when it was all said and done, they did an excellent job. But congratulations on your first one, and it being, if you can call them being a success, y'all made it through. Like he said, no interruptions for Butterballs, so that's a huge plus, but thank you. I know that was kind of rough, your first one, but you did great, and thank you for keeping in touch like you did. Yes, your entire crew, they were there from Sunday about 2? Yes, so thank you. All right, fire and police, Charlie?
Yeah, we really didn't have anything on the agenda, just requested updates from fire and police both, and police give me an update. Flock cameras are still in the process, they're waiting on some permits and all. They was also part of that big child pornography bust that they done. I didn't write it down. Where was it, Devin?
So we done one in Dover, actually March, the rest of the in April, and we done one here in Ozark.
Okay. And that's really all we done on police side. And fire side, just, he gives an update that he did get the Tahoe traded to Cecil, and the tanker is almost done.
That was it. Devin, we're getting some feedback. Is there anything we can turn, or can you? Yeah, let's turn it down just a little. All right, under old business, lady that has become a very good friend. I love seeing her face and taking her phone calls. So, Jan, Tim, this is, we're gonna give you the floor.
We have an opportunity to get all the drawings done for the 218 building, and it's been very exciting. It really has been. I've really enjoyed it. In fact, we got to get on top of the building, go inside the building. We measured in detail every detail of the building. We y'all, the top floor is in pretty good shape. I mean, it really is. And so we got to go up there, we measured, took videos, we've got all the drawings done. We have come to a conclusion of how this building can be secured for safety. We did it the most economical way we could come up with. And the way that is I'm gonna go to floor plans first. But this is, am I getting everything?
Yeah, that's the mezzanine and the,
Yeah, when you go into the,
second floor.
yeah, when you go into the building, if I could get it, this, I'm not doing a very good job, sorry. Oh, I need a mouse. This is the part, well, while we're down here, this is the part that's falling in, is back here. If you'll recall, this is where all the brick is out in the alley, that very back part.
And half of that brick wall is on the ground.
Yeah, and would you mind operating this? So,
That lower page is what she needs.
yeah. So this is the very top floor, and believe it or not, it's still in very good shape, the floors and everything. What is bad is the very back there, and that's where all the bricks and everything fell down. That's where the stairs come up. What is this, Tim?
That's the,
Oh, that's the
back part
first
of the
floor,
roof
yeah.
has to be repaired.
Go to the elevations.
That's the regular floor plans.
Mm-hmm. And I know everybody's gonna want to see the technical in a minute, but I just wanted them to see.
Second floor still has all those rooms?
Yes,
Oh, my goodness.
and it is in good shape.
Huh.
What happened was just that very back part fell. Go to where you can see the front of the building.
One more, keep going.
There we go. So this is the side of the building. This is where you can climb up on top of the bookstore and see all these. And what we're proposing, instead of spending money on windows, we're trying to do this as economically as possible. Tim is suggesting that we go with plywood, just board it up.
Or, party board,
Hardy board,
so you don't have to
yeah.
maintain it for a while.
Yeah, concrete board. This is some of the steel structure we're proposing. This is the front of the building. Y'all, this is so pretty right there. It really is. But Tim, I'm gonna let you talk about the technical,
Okay,
or you can talk right there.
okay, I've got a booming voice like you.
Yeah,
He'll need the mic, so it will
Okay.
pick it up at home, please.
oh, this is,
Okay, so what we've got going, where you see that stair kind of coming up at an angle, that is a mezzanine. And we're gonna be replacing 8 or 10 feet of floor structure where it's got the little arrows going to it. And that'll also get some floor decking on it. We're gonna do a new stair section going from that mezzanine up to the second floor. That shows on the drawing above.
there it is.
See it, kind of on the back wall there, just a bunch of horizontal lines. And we're also doing some repairs on the second floor. It's about 8 or 10 feet where it's just gone. And then we're gonna do 8 or 10 feet
Yeah,
up at.
back here's where it's all
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, and we'll do 8 or 10 more feet up at the roof structure. And we explored the idea of doing an independent, like steel column structure that would go through the existing roof and have a metal roof on it. But we're just afraid that's gonna be too expensive and y'all don't wanna spend that kind of money on this building. So what we're gonna do is get the existing roof taken off, you know, down to the wood structure. And then we had a roofing company do a price to put some OSB wood deck over all the wood that's there, so it'll be good and strong. And then they're gonna put 3 or 4 inches of insulation and then put a TPO roof system on it.
And
So
just for
brand new
not
roof.
all of y'all, does everybody know what a TPO roof is?
Rubber roof.
Rubber roof? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just I want, you know,
Okay. But
everybody to understand.
the other thing on that back wall, on the drawing to the right there, we're talking about putting a column left and right, and
To the
then
green.
putting steel Z-girts and a new door in that wall, and then covering that with metal building siding, so it will seal it up.
So you'll have a building that will be safe and can be used if you want to at a later date. It
Yeah.
won't be completely renovated inside, but at least the floors will be stable, the roof will be stable, the back will be stable.
Then you can get to the second floor. You
Yeah,
know,
and I
right
think
now
on the
you
front
can't even get-
elevation, did we talk about doing plexiglass?
Yeah, they've got corrugated fiberglass on it now, but those have been there so long, they're rotten, so we could
But the
replace
frames
those.
themselves are in pretty good shape.
And some of the windows where it has the little, angled lines on those windows, that's where there's no covering at all, and we were gonna focus on, putting coverings on them.
Yeah, but that floor is in great shape up there.
Amazing.
The room space. Who would have thought?
Go to the, front of the building. So we can talk about that. Which way is it?
There you go.
Right there.
So it'll be safe and secure by then,
Okay,
and
on
it'll
the
be clean.
front of the building, but next to the bank, there's a piece of, channel iron that's been bolted,
Oh, yeah.
through bolted, and it's
Yeah,
bolted to
they've
the,
got some kind of like cable turnbuckle system.
that's bolted
to
into
help-
the bank to.
Yes,
Yeah.
to help all that brick hold together
Okay, it's
since
just
it's so
a-
old, yeah.
Yeah, it's to stabilize.
So all that'll stay.
So you've been up there on the second floor?
I looked at that building, I was gonna buy it 25 years ago.
Oh,
There's not enough concrete in the bricks.
that you felt like it was.
Well, you can take that apart between the wall that goes to the bank, you'd have to just grout that wall.
Mhm.
Cause it's just sand
Yeah,
between
you
the
would,
brick.
you would
I mean, it would have to be,
tuck point
you
it,
could
yeah.
plaster it and it would,
Mhm.
it'll stay if you put something there to make to keep all the pieces together.
You know, you can use this building too, Mayor, for functions, I mean, even after we get it safe. Because you're just gonna have a big open space on the
That
first floor.
ground floor is great, it's like 15 feet high and just wide open under there,
Mhm.
but no heat and air, no.
No bathroom.
Right.
Yeah,
Is there,
you
e-
have-
is there even plumbing for a bathroom? Like, they
There
have
was
one?
plumbing upstairs because there was a dentist office up there at one time.
Dennis and the doctor.
Yeah.
Dr. Clark's
Dr.
office
Clark's.
was up there
Really?
years ago because
Yeah, he was
the
in the
door is
back.
still there.
Oh,
And it
cool.
says H.O. Clark on it.
I only remember the parts store,
Yes.
Yes, no,
Car-
Ozark Tire and
Oh,
Supply.
yeah.
My brother
Tire
worked
Supply.
there, yeah. So what was on the bottom when Dr. Clark was upstairs?
Well, I don't know, just didn't-
Downstairs was the hardware store.
You heard, what'd you say?
Hardware store.
It's the,
Oh, hardware.
yeah.
Interesting.
Canasta, I think, was the hardware.
All right.
But it'll be stable after we do this, and,
Even the wall that he's talking about?
yes.
Yeah.
And what he's talking about, all it needs is tuck pointing. And we could, like you said, do plaster,
Mm.
but tuck pointing would be the best thing.
What is that?
Well, you just go in and put,
You just replace where the cement is
Oh.
material. When they put it together, they didn't put enough concrete in the mix, and it's.
that's the way they
In the-
always did it in that
Oh,
time.
Yeah,
It
Say it
was
in the-
lime
mortar joints.
and sand.
Lime and sand, and that's what they did back then, so it's,
Wow.
yeah, it's amazing
Yeah.
how it's stood this long.
No kidding, yeah.
Any questions?
And then I've got you a budget, proposal there. And, the second page kind of outlines a little more, simply in bullet points, what would be included to do the renovation.
Yeah, Tim, why don't you point to the steel rafters a little bit, or the columns, steel columns,
Okay.
how that would be installed, or just, you don't have to point,
Oh,
just
okay.
tell us.
Yeah, on the back wall where all that stuff's being repaired, there's a steel column and a foundation right there, left and right. And then there's Z-girts that are in the wall that are like a metal building. And then all the, metal siding would attach to that outside.
And we'll bring those columns in pieces, is that correct?
Yeah, they're in two
Yeah.
pieces.
I do have one question. I noticed on here it says about the asbestos survey. When will you have your results on that?
Well, after we get hired to do this, we'll get them to do the study and the sampling, and then they'll know what's in there, whether it's in, part of the old roof membrane or something like that. Sometimes they put asbestos in that, and that's probably the one place I would suspect it might be in here, but maybe we got lucky and there's none.
In a lot of historic buildings we've done, it's not had asbestos, so.
But it's old enough that
It
could.
really worries me, because where I worked before, we did have to deal with asbestos, and it is an astronomical expense to have that remediated.
So if you buy it at the 97, you may have another 100 or 150.
I hope not.
And
that
asbestos
much. I'm
abatement.
thinking,
Yes.
you know,
I would say we
Easy.
need to spend the money on the
That'd be my-
asbestos survey,
That'd
The
be my
sample,
thought.
yeah.
hazardous materials survey
Before anything is,
before you get going. And the council needs to understand this. Even after you spend all this money, this isn't the city's building.
That was my next point.
The building still belongs to the people it belonged to. The only thing is, they're gonna get a bill for the amount that we spend. And then, if they don't pay that bill within whatever time the court allows them, then the building will be ordered sold, and we may get our money back at that point.
Wasn't the last asbestos, how much was that we did on that, on that?
Well, I've got them a, quote to do this study for like $2,900, but, depending on how much and what kind they find.
Well, you're talking about the removal, but what, right now,
Well,
what?
no, that's the study, it was 2,900.
Yeah.
That'd be well worth it before you
Absolutely.
commit it to 97.
Absolutely.
And plus, that keeps
Because you may
us
end up with a
legal for
250 bill.
any renovations, because we can't just ignore it, you know, they'll throw us in jail and fine us.
Oh, absolutely, I know how that works.
And it's better to know than to not know if there is, you know, material.
Well, you're gonna have to know one way or the other. Even if you don't decide to renovate this building, if you decide to raise it because it's dangerous, you're still gonna have to deal with asbestos. I think you need to spend the 3,000 and get that
I do
known.
too. We need to move with that, to get that done before we do anything else. And then if we find out there's not any in it, then we can move forward with our plans to do whatever. But if we come back and they say that place is loaded with it, then we're gonna have to.
I don't think it's gonna be.
It may not be. I'm not, you know, we come to learn to expect the worst on some of our projects, and that's kind of the way we are on this one. I just wanna make sure we don't bite off something and then it bite us back before we get to make a decision. So that would be my recommendation too, is to get that study
We can move on
done.
one of those quickly,
Okay.
Mr. Milton.
Like we need
Let's
to.
put that in form of a motion.
Okay.
Add that to the,
I'll make a motion that we have an asbestos survey done on the Kimbrough property and receive results before moving on with any further action. That sounds
and
all
approve the
right.
expenditure.
And we need to,
the 2900.
yeah, we need to,
You
Yeah.
know,
whatever
Whatever it is
expenditure
that
comes
is.
out to, we'll have to.
They quoted him 2,900, they might quote you 3,900.
So
I
let
mean, you
him
never
deal.
know. I mean, he deals with those
He
people all
deals
the
with
time.
I think they're out of Russellville, we've used them over and over.
Yeah,
That's the ones we
EEG.
use for Russellville, yes.
I'll second that motion.
EPA or
Susan.
something, yeah,
EEG.
Three letters.
yes, yep. That's who we use.
It is EEG.
I think that's, yeah.
Tyler,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Guys, thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank
time
you.
that you put into it. And there again, for staying in touch like you have, I greatly appreciate that. Makes it a whole lot easier when people are asking questions.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Franks did not show up. So we have no new business. So we will move on to public input, and the only one that I have was Crystal.
I don't have much. I just wanted to say thank you guys on working towards fixing up some of our buildings, or the start of one. I wanted to say a big thanks to, the street and also water helping us with some of the Main Street projects and kind of getting us where to start to overhaul some things. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you. On May the 6th, the city attorney Kevin Barham, Chief Bramlett, Chief Nick Trotter, and I attended court over a cleanup property issue that the city has been working with since 2017. We were very fortunate that day. The judge ruled in the city's favor, and the defendant has until tomorrow to get the property mowed, cleaned up. Did you check the backyard this afternoon? Okay. When I was there yesterday, it had not been done, or Saturday, I went yesterday, the front had, but the back had not. So we'll check that first thing tomorrow. And then in 30 days, the house will go up, clean up, and it is her responsibility to get it ready and up to match city code. So, I will tell you that Devin has already sent out 3 other letters on other properties here in town. And we were very fortunate to have a judge that is not putting up with this, how do I wanna say, the neglect of people's property. Matter of fact, he was very adamant that that's why there's city ordinances and get her property cleaned up. So, I wanna thank the guys. Those 2 back there have really been out working on this, and they're helping the code enforcement officer as well. So, we're gonna be talking about that more. We're gonna try to at least put 1 ordinance, just refresh it and let people see it on the Facebook page, so they know that it is actually, an ordinance. You'll look next, on May the 1st, we had, the Saving America Graveyards, and this is something that is worked through the state tourism department. And they go online and they pick so many cemeteries, and they go in and clean up old cemetery monuments. And I got to spend some time up there that day, and I've got you some pictures, and these are, you see the people there, the majority of those are volunteers. Met 2 ladies that came, drove here 3.5 hours from Missouri. This one right here, you could not tell what that said when they got here. They spent the entire day there and made a difference, found a lot of history that it's just amazing. If you get the time, go in that back part of the cemetery. And I gave you also some background information there on, I am gonna ask them for some of that cleaning supply, because we have some in our other parts that just need that moss looking stuff taken off. So we're gonna, some of the kids that work this summer that need volunteer hours, that's what I'm going to have them doing. Been some question as to why the orange barrels are out. There was a reason for that. Feel free to ask and I'll be glad to tell you. But unfortunately in the afternoons, that seems to be the worst time, or when school gets out. We have a group of people that feel the need, instead of wanting to go to the stop sign and wait their turn and go left or right, they want to fly through the parking lot so they can save a step. And I actually witnessed it.
Which they can be ticketed for, by the way.
Well, I tried to do that last week, and then I could hear the chief telling me in my ear, wait on them. But I did. There was a kid that came flying across that parking lot. He thought he was gonna get on the highway till I stopped right in front of him, and I just stared him down. And I was gonna get his license plate, but when he went around me out here on the road, he was going too fast, and I couldn't get it quick enough. So that made me realize that we have to do something, okay? We've got too many kids and people that just walk across that parking lot, and really, we don't need to be doing that. So I got with Michael, and we're going to put up a gate that has help me describe that. Y'all already heard it when I was trying to tell him what I wanted. But it comes in the middle, and then you can unhook it and open it up when we do need it. And it will be painted a bright yellow. And this is, we've got to think of the safety. And I wanted to get ahead of the 8 ball on that, so we're trying to avoid any accidents. We, Devin and I are meeting next Tuesday with the new football coach and Mr. Price on speeding out on Hickory Loop and on Gibson Street after school. So I'm going to explain this as well. So just kind of wanted to update you on that. You have in your hand a flyer that y'all can take to your business, or it has been shared quite a bit on Facebook, and I appreciate that. But I've had the pleasure of working with Lori from the Hand to Hand in Alma, and this Saturday they will be giving away shoes and toys for Ozark School District kids. And the kids have to be present to receive the shoes, and the parents must have an ID or utility bill to prove that they are in the Ozark School District. And that is Hand to Hand's rule. That is not, I mean, that's their guidelines. Also, she called me Friday and wanted to know if they provided the hot dogs and buns, if I could provide someone to grill them. So Robert Gresham has agreed to come, and they'll be giving away hot dogs, and they're gonna bring games for the kids to play. So if you know of anybody that needs the shoes, they want to have a lot of kids. So I think that's great. They have been doing this in Alma and Mulberry, and I was at a Mulberry event, and I asked her, I said, what can I do to get on your list? And so we started having a conversation, and she called, I guess about a month and a half ago, and she said, would you all have a place? I said, we got the perfect place for you. So they'll be here Thursday, set up the room, get them shoes organized by sizes, and if any of y'all wanna come, we do need a few volunteers. Get with me or Brooke, and we would love to have good participation from it. The last thing is, I had received an email last Thursday night late, and this gentleman was, he wasn't so nice about the way the city looked. He said he'd moved back here after 20 plus years, and there was grass, and the streets were horrible, and long story short, I told him, I said, we have the Ozark Pride and Beautification that would love volunteers, and I got told real quick that he didn't call to volunteer his time, that was our job. So I did bring up a point to him, and I just want you all, because I'm going to talk about it tomorrow on the radio, and the code enforcement officer does have this with him as well, but there are guidelines on property maintenance, and you can see that there. Brooke will post this tomorrow, but on Highway 64 and 219, that is a state highway, okay? We can't make you go out there and mow your property. That's the state's, and help me.
Well, you can't make them mow from the boundary line
To
to the edge of
to
the
the
highway.
edge of the
What is the
highway.
right of way belongs to the state.
Right, and the state mows it 3 times a year. They mow in April, which they have called and they're behind, July and October. So I'm just asking, help us take pride in our area. Go ahead and mow that ditch. I know there are some that are steep, but there's also kids around here that you could pay $20 to mow a ditch, and if you have to, get the weed eater or the weed killer and kill it. But if you stop and look at it, it does look bad coming into town on both ends. But anything that's in the city, we are asking that you take pride in your property, and I've given each one of you a copy of that in case you get your constituents to call and ask, and it's there. So just help us work together on that if you would. We would greatly appreciate that. The Parks and Rec meets tomorrow night at 6:30, and that was changed due to graduation being on the 20th. And I will apologize for not looking at the school calendar on that. Have a walkthrough with the food pantry this week, and that will consist of myself, Tracy with our Brent, and the contractors. So hopefully they will be up in operation in their building in July, because it's going to take them a while to get their shelving units in and anything that we find this week that needs to be fixed. So pushing for July, so that is going to be a plus. So, that's all I have for announcements. Does anyone have anything? Not, I need a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Need a second?
I'll second.
Tyler,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Meyer.
Yeah.
All right, thank you all, appreciate it.